What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley. That's the one. It is the only. It is the Scott Savage. Scott, what's going on, man?
Oh, I mentioned yesterday, I think, to you, I was playing some Bolt Gun, and that game has made me nearly throw my controller a few times. I love it.
So last night I got real frustrated and smashed my controller.
No way.
Yeah, I was playing, we were playing Siege. Dude, I was not having a good game. I got mad, dude. I slammed my controller down. So it's official this week. I'll be walking away from Siege for a week. I gotta take a breather.
You're taking a little bit of a break.
Gotta take a breather, dude. That's okay, because we got lots of games to play. I'll be heavily invested in the world of Tears of the Kingdom this week. And a couple
I have to catch up myself.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll be going full-fledged on that then on this week's episode. But yeah, you just talked about Bolt Gun. You can check out Scott's review of Bolt Gun coming up this week on Inside the Game. But Scott, people can join us live right now for ITG Daily over on youtube.com/InsideTheGameOfficial, as well as twitch.tv/theofficialITG. But if you can't join us live, make sure you hit us up later. Podcast services, just like our friends over at Fired Up Network, you can find us over there. And of course, those beautiful TV streaming networks around the globe, Roku TV, Amazon Prime, Samsung Plus, and so many more, and a couple more coming in the future. We'll be talking about those as well. But until then, Scott, let's talk about today's show. The Xbox Showcase will feature no CGI only trailers for first-party games, promises Aaron Greenberg. Thank goodness. We'll be talking about that one today heavily on the show. Geoff Keighley says E3 killed itself. Oh, man. Well, that's one way of putting it. And what is Ubisoft teasing for their next big title reveal at the Ubisoft Forward? Dude, there's a lot to talk about today, so let's dive in, as I don't want to wait anymore, because it is the Xbox Showcase will feature no full CGI trailers for first-party games. I think that's the biggest thing right there, Scott. Right?
No trailers. There's a bit of responsive feeling towards this to do with the Sony PlayStation State of Play, or the Sony Showcase. The Sony Showcase failed to meet the mark in several regards, and I think this is kind of addressing that.
Yeah, no, I think this makes sense on two occasions. One, the PlayStation Showcase was an absolute flop. It was all CGI. They opened with CGI. They ended with Spider-Man, which was their only saving grace for that showcase, right? I think that's fair to say. There was a couple cool things. Helldivers was there again. They took a whole different perspective with Helldivers, dropping it to that third-person perspective instead of that top-down, which is pretty cool. But yeah, this is nice to hear. This is Grant Taylor over at Insider Gaming. On Twitter, the VP of Xbox Marketing at Microsoft, Aaron Greenberg, proudly confirmed that there will be no full CGI trailers used to market first-party games during the Xbox Showcase on June 11th. Scott, we are days away, my friend. We will be live. Make sure you swing by and join us. We'll be hanging out here over on Twitch and YouTube, of course, to make sure we'll be covering everything Xbox has to showcase for us. In a tweet, Greenberg explained that everything featured in the Xbox Showcase from a first-party perspective will be made up entirely of either in-game footage or in-engine footage or in-game footage with some cinematics. Cinematics are a form... Now, this is just me going off now, Scott. Cinematics are definitely a form of storytelling, right? But...
yeah.
The thing for me is I never want to see, never at all anymore. We are definitely at this way of showcasing a game that doesn't need to be heavily invested with CGI. Don't show me a trailer that's all CGI and then you get the game and it's something completely different. Dude, how many times have we been down this third person perspective in a CGI trailer and then you get the game and you're like, yo, why am I top down? Right? Like, it doesn't showcase the game.
It's worked out really well in the case of The Division, where everybody saw that little CGI close the door and everybody lost their mind.
Dude, that was in game.
But that was however in game. But then we go rewind way further back, and it's the example I always think of is Killzone. I don't remember if it was Killzone 1 or 2. I think it was 2.
It was 2.
And it was, wow, did that look excellent. You know what? We should revisit that. I think we could do that game in today's era.
We should. This wave of confirmation immediately set the hype train ablaze, with Aaron Greenberg promising that everything we see at the Xbox Showcase from first-party developers is more or less exactly what we are going to get. It's somewhat of a breakaway from the trend that sees developers dropping trailers that are purely CG, which often sets about unrealistic expectations for projects and has done so for years, Scott. So disappointing, man. I'm so tired of these CG trailers. No, I want to see what we're getting. I want to see what the game looks like. I want to see what we're playing. I want to see more. Sometimes that's not the case because they're not ready. If that's the case, dude, don't show it.
Oh, even stylistically, there's times that I've seen things cinematically that don't pan out the proper way. Elder Scrolls Online comes to mind. These CGI trailers are incredible. They look really intense, and I love it. I would buy a movie made of Elder Scrolls easily, but it just wasn't quite the same. You get in game and it's misleading.
It's very misleading, right? You get this whole CG spectacle and then you get in the game, you're like, this looks nothing like what we just saw in this trailer. It's funny because it pulls me in with the trailer and then I downloaded the game. I was like, nope, I'm out. Dude, I was instantly I'm like turned off, right?
It gives you the curiosity, but then immediately a negative feeling. Yeah.
Of course,
I'm wondering.
Go ahead.
What are we gonna see now? And what does this mean? What do these hints point to?
Well, this is where I'm kind of going now. I'm going backtrack. I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna pull this up because I think this is one of the biggest staples that people are waiting for. They need to know. They need to see it. They need to see something. What are we gonna play when we get into the world of Fable? Because we saw this title revealed 3 years ago, right? We now know Playground Games is working on this game. We talked about it heavily on the show. A studio not in their wheelhouse. Mostly because they're on the Horizon series, right? Forza Horizon is their wheelhouse, but now they're branching off and doing something different. We've heard that they've had troubled waters over there as well, getting into unfamiliar territory when it comes to making a third-person action-adventure RPG. So where's this go now, right? I think after 3 years of development, they have to showcase us something, Scott. This is just the beginning, I think, of Xbox's opportunity to blow us away and show us what the future of Xbox looks like. Obviously, coming off the failure of Redfall and the very disappointing turn of events for that game, led a lot of Xbox fans down a different path of what we were kind of hoping for. Now, I think this is where you show us the future. Show us what we're playing later this year. Not just Starfield. I don't think Starfield's enough, Scott. I don't think Starfield is for everybody, and I think we need to see what else is there. Do you think we get Fable this year at all, or is that next year?
I think we're gonna see Fable here. I don't think we're gonna get a release date or anything like that, but I think we'll see it, and I really think that's strongly because of the teaser that we saw recently with the fairy and the frog, and I think that has to be purposeful. There has to be some meaning behind that. So I really hope we see some more on Fable specifically. I think I'm not sure if it's detailed in this article actually, but I think it was about 2 hours. They've said that the showcase is going to last. One half hour of that includes Starfield.
Which
or
makes
specifically
sense.
Starfield.
Yeah, exactly. I see that is a little long. People are like, wow, that's a long time. It is, but a typical showcase is about an hour and a half out of Xbox as of late. And then you get a half hour alone just as Starfield, because we need to know what Starfield looks like. What else I need to know, Scott, is what is Everwild going to be? Will that be there? Will that be at the showcase, right? I think that's a game that we need to see hopefully running in-game. What they've shown looks stunning. It looks beautiful. But is that the actual game? If they are able to pull that style off, dude, through that entire game, I cannot wait to get my hands on this. I love Rare. I always have, and I'm always excited to see what they're going to come up with next. This is one of their next titles. Again, announced 3 years ago in 2020 with the CG trailer, right? Fable, CG trailer. Dude, where are these games? I think this is the year we start to see where some of those games were announced 3 years ago, where they're lining up right now.
Perfect Dark.
Well, okay, so that's another
one. There's so many.
There are so many, right? So many of those and so many questions. And after, again, going back to the Redfall thing, the fans are questioning, what does the future look like? I think a lot of them have forgot that some of these games are in development, right? Don't forget, Fable's still coming. We're getting Forza Motorsport this year, which is exciting for some. I'm not a sim racer, so I'm out. I'm more on the playground game side of things when it comes to Forza Horizon. I always love playing the Horizon games. So getting into some of these other titles, like, dude, 3 years ago, Everwild. Trailer was stunning. But is that cinematics or is it gameplay?
Yeah.
So we'll find out hopefully more this year, just this coming weekend, Sunday. So again, you just mentioned as well, Perfect Dark. Again, 3 years ago. Another CG trailer, right? Like, it's just, you see the trend, and then PlayStation picked up on that trend this year and left people very disappointed. So the fact that Aaron Greenberg says we're not going to get a CG trailer only, this is very exciting. This has me very excited to think now as well. Scott, these games got to be a lot further in development as to where they're at, and hopefully we'll be getting more content as to what we're getting this year, if not next year.
It's been so long since Avowed that I'm starting to forget what I have even seen. Have we even seen any sort of cinematic teaser? I can't even recall. I think one, but
we did.
This is going back 3 or 4 years ago now.
Yeah, no, we did get a cinematic trailer for Avowed, and it wasn't. It showed very little, right?
Like, yeah, that's a teaser trailer, if I recall anything at all.
Yep, but again, another cinematic trailer, and this is the problem we see often in our industry that I'm tired of seeing. I just want to see what we're playing. So show me the money, as they say, Scott.
Do you think we're gonna get a little bit of a look at Delta, Metal Gear Solid Delta? Because there was an absence of anything in footage, or I think that was in engine rendered, but.
I think we get Delta at Summer Game Fest on Thursday, not at the Xbox Showcase. If Xbox was wise, they would show it there as well. So that way people don't have the mindshare of, oh, it's just on PlayStation, right? I think being shown over on the PlayStation Showcase is the fact that people are going, oh man, Metal Gear's back. And they relate that to the PlayStation platform. Well, Xbox needs to take that mindshare away and go, hey, by the way, we've got Metal Gear as well. And then they need to keep that
in the same way that they had left a message. That may have been Aaron Greenberg even that posted that, hey, these are all on Xbox as well, in response to the PlayStation Showcase. That was funny.
Which is very smart, right? Very, very smart to do, because you need to showcase that you're not out of the water here. Yeah, out of all those games, a dozen of them are also coming to Xbox. So, and then we get Starfield with its own direct. Scott, are you excited for Starfield? What are you looking for from this direct?
The Starfield specifically, I can't wait to see any more on that, because I've kind of shied away a little bit, but we're close enough now that I'm ready. I'm ready to see what there is to experience. And I hope a little bit of information on the shipbuilding specifically, because I didn't really like Fallout 4. And I know a lot of people are going to think that's crazy, but the building felt kind of shoehorned in. And I hope that's not the case here.
Well, which is fair, right? If Fallout 4 is not for everybody, Fallout's not for everybody. Fallout wasn't for me. And it's funny, there's certain Bethesda games I do like, some I don't. And I'm worried a little bit. I'm hoping too, right? That's what I want to see out of this. It's funny because we've seen so much of Final Fantasy 16. Dude, just give me the game. I don't need to see anymore. I just want to play. And then when we get into Starfield, I'm like, yo, you need to show me a lot more because I don't know why I want to play this game. So, I don't know. Time will tell. But you know who's not playing? E3, because they got canceled. E3 has killed itself. No, not competition from Summer Game Fest, says Geoff Keighley. Chris Scullion over at VGC.
That's what the murderer would say.
Yeah, Keighley started Summer Game Fest in 2020 after he split from E3, where he previously held his Coliseum live events. Now, at the time, he cited being uncomfortable with organizers' ESA's plans for E3. In an interview with the latest episode of the VGC podcast, Keighley was asked how he felt about the reputation in some corners of the internet as, quote, the E3 killer, end quote. I think, quote, this comes right from Geoff himself. I think E3 sort of killed itself in a way. I understand why people say SFG killed E3, but I think, if anything, we created Summer Game Fest. And I built Summer Game Fest because I saw the wheels falling off the wagon of E3. Scott, I think we all saw it.
I think I have to agree with that.
Yeah,
I have to agree with them there. The last few years of E3 just really trailed down to not much at all.
No, exactly. And we're starting to see a lot of these companies bail out, right? PlayStation being one of the first ones to bail alone. Once PlayStation left, you're like, this doesn't make a lot of sense now, is it? Because everybody gets pumped to see PlayStation, Xbox, Bethesda, Ubisoft, Nintendo. Let's bring out the heavy hitters. If you don't have the heavy hitters, you don't have a show.
Oh, the big three are the big ones. Yeah, this is where everybody assembles for the console wars. And then we all celebrate at the end together.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. As someone who loved that time of year for 2 decades, E3 was part of my life since I was a 15-year-old kid. From the first E3 in 95, I went to every show. I loved it, and it defined my summer. It was also exciting to me, and it was heartbreaking to see that start to fall apart. I think they had a relevancy problem, and then they also had a participation problem over the final years. Man, we saw the decline in numbers. We saw everything just kind of dwindle away. And then you get Geoff Keighley stepping in and showcasing what he's got. Dude, he just... I know he's not the killer of E3, but he just took over for them and just steamrolled right over top and just has continued to grow year over year. And the expectations now of Summer Games Fest with Geoff Keighley is at an all-time high, right? We get everything from them.
Do you think it's risen to the same hype level of E3?
That's for me. Because that's where it has for me, right? Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but it's awkward. Do we call this weekend E3 week? Do we continue with that because you and I are over the age of 20? Or
right? Yeah, that's why. Yeah, because we are the old school gamers, right? From back in the day where we would always watch E3 and always wanted to be a part of it. But then we saw the decline, and then we saw the rise of Geoff and Summer Game Fest, and then all of a sudden now the roles have flipped. So next year, we're hoping to be a Summer Game Fest because there's going to be a lot to show year after year, and it's only getting bigger. This year, we're going to be doing the live streams. Next year, hopefully we'll be there. So yeah, I think the question is, if we didn't do Summer Game Fest, what would happen? I think things would just have to kind of really splinter apart this summer.
Yeah.
Right? Remember the fall of E3, everybody's starting to do their own showcase, but yet Geoff's easily enough to pull in some of the big heavy hitters to kind of showcase what they have. Not only does this get the attention of the gamers, but this gets attention of other media outlets as well that don't normally cover our industry. So, Geoff's doing something right. That's for sure.
That's for sure. Yeah. The guy's the darling sweetheart of the whole industry, I think. Everybody loves Geoff Keighley.
Everyone we've been working with for months around Summer Game Fest. So there was a world where Summer Game Fest and E3 would have coexisted. And we had talked a lot to E3 organizers, Reed Pop, about the possibility because they were focused much more on a big trade event in the summer and the consumer event. And that's not what we were doing with Summer Game Fest. E3 canceled in 2020 after I pulled out due to the pandemic, and I started Summer Game Fest at home in a spare bedroom, not even knowing what I was really doing. We were just trying to figure out a way to bring news to fans. And then you remember there was the digital E3 they did in 2021. Dude, I was a part of that. That was an absolute disaster.
Oh, I don't really recall even.
Yeah,
and maybe that's for the best.
They didn't do anything. They gave us press badges to kind of get in on the what would be the digital show floor, I guess you could say, and it was just a flop. But yeah, I guess in 2021 there was maybe a little bit of competition between what we were doing and what E3 was doing. This year, I thought we had the reasonable plan that what we were doing was a big show at YouTube Theater. So we have big plans this year, is basically what he's getting at. And I cannot wait. That'll be Thursday. Tune in. Starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. Now, their show really kicks off, I believe, at 4, Scott. I think 3 o'clock is the pre-show. So
okay.
We will be here. Make sure you check us out. We'll be live again over on Twitch and YouTube. And we'll be covering everything that Geoff Keighley has to showcase because, man, anticipations are high.
Scott. Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, this is gaming Christmas.
Exactly. Yeah, this is the year we always wait for, right? Like this time of year. So hopefully he has, I know he's going to have some big things to reveal. So it should be cool. Dude, Ubisoft Forward trailer teases a mystery game for this month's showcase. Tom Ivan over BGC. A new trailer for the event, which is viewable over... Actually, we have it. Yep, we got it going. Confirms that it will feature Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora, Assassin's Creed Mirage, The Crew Motorfest, while also teasing an unannounced title. On Thursday, it was also announced that Assassin's Creed Nexus VR is coming to the MetaQuest store this year, and please make it for the PlayStation VR 2 headset. That's where I'd like to play.
I think I might need to get a MetaQuest. I think my Rift ass is in the past now.
I'm afraid so. Yep. The live stream will take place on June 12th, 1 p.m. Eastern. Again, we'll be live here. Make sure you swing by YouTube and Twitch. Here's the thing. Recently, Ubisoft confirmed that its release schedule for the current fiscal year includes Assassin's Creed Mirage. Thank you. Cannot wait for that one. Dude, Assassin's Creed Mirage. Probably one of my most anticipated Assassin's Creed games in a very long time.
Was that... what was the release date that we did see on that? Was that the
October 12th?
October 12th.
We're going back to our
August,
roots,
but that's my release date.
Yeah, we were guessing, right? We heard rumblings of when it would be coming around. On top of that, we'll be getting Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Mobile, Tom Clancy's The Division Resurgence, Skull and Bones, maybe, I don't know, The Crew Motorfest, X Defiant, and another large game. Scott, that's a ton of games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games total this year. From Ubisoft.
From Ubisoft. They do have 30-something studios, but that is still impressive.
It's very impressive. Now, granted, 2 of those are mobile, right? You're getting Rainbow Six and you're getting Tom Clancy's The Division Resurgence on mobile. So if you're more just a console player, then you're looking at 6 games.
Are you going to try out Resurgence?
Absolutely.
I thought so.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely in. I'm
very curious for that. And Rainbow Six on mobile just bends my mind. I'm not sure if I'm happy about that, but I need to know.
Happy or concerned? Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. One game that won't be shown is Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake.
That's one that hurts.
Yeah. Well, we are expecting to see though, Scott, and people are starting to guess and maybe predict, is that Ubisoft's working on a Star Wars game. And that's what we might be seeing, because Star Wars is such a big title right now, just around our industry, right? With all the Star Wars shows going on. A Star Wars Jedi Survivor coming off real hot with a couple bugs here or there, obviously. Probably my game of the year right now. We'll see if that changes. Spider-Man 2 is coming.
I saw a video, people really complaining about Jedi Survivor having issue on the Series X specifically. This is a couple months ago now. Yeah. But I never experienced any issue with the Series X.
Man,
yourself and you had some crashes, but
I had 4 or 5 crashes. I was just oh man, it was killer. I'm like, if they didn't have the crashes, I would have gave that score a much higher score. But I still gave it a 9, even with my crashes, just because it is that good, right? Like, there's so much content, good. And the verticality and the level design was some of the best I've ever played. It was. Yeah,
I want Respawn to do the next shooter for Star Wars.
Well, so is that what we're gonna get here then? Who is working? Actually, I think it's Massive. Never mind. So the team that's working on Avatar, the team that works on The Division, I believe, is the team also working on the next Star Wars. Given a pretty good studio Star Wars title, I expect some pretty good combat in there. Hopefully they're not as bullet spongy as The Division is my only concern, right? The Division works for what it is.
You get away with a little bit in Star Wars, yeah. In canon, it makes sense. Everybody's wearing armor, at least. The Division doesn't make sense to me. A rain jacket absorbs half a clip of ammo.
Yeah, no, maybe a little bit more, but yeah. Yeah. But I think that's what the next large game is. Whether or not we actually get it this year, I don't know. But, man, I'm still shocked to see Skull and Bones is on here, not just canceled.
Yeah. Oh, and Pandora. Frontiers of Pandora. I'm looking forward to seeing more on that.
Yeah, very heavily looking forward to seeing what that one is about. Because, again, I believe all we saw was a cinematic trailer back in the day when they announced that that's what they're working on. Okay, cool. I'm excited to see what that world looks like in-game. Play it in-game, right? Get hands-on. Let's get a better understanding of what we're dealing with. But, Scott, what we are dealing with
like the movie.
There's one game out for today. What do we have? It's not even really... It is a game, but it's not.
We have The Elder Scrolls Online, Necrom on PC.
Yeah, so it's not just another add-on. Like, man, they have so much content in that game. It's incredible. But again,
I think it's another chapter add-on. Yeah, I'm not sure if it stands alone though. I think you may have to have the base game to run it.
I'm sure you do. Yeah, I'd be sure you have to have the base game, but there's so much. If you want to play one game that'll keep you going for hours on end, this is definitely one of those games. But
yeah, you can almost go around the entire planet now.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, there's so much content there. It's nuts. Keep you going for days on end, just like we can. But Scott, that's going to wrap up today's show, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. This has been ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news each and every day. We'll be back once again tomorrow, and don't forget, we'll be doing all kinds of live streams this week, so make sure you swing by and check us out when we're live covering all these events. So much to talk about, but until tomorrow, I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see you inside the game.